I received a lot of good feedback on my last video on roses, so I want to explore more ways to do roses and share them with you. This time we're going to do a more structured rose. And to start, first I'm going to mix this beautiful color sea glass with a tiny amount of traditional burnt umber. So we're going to mix these two colors and we're going to prep our background. I'm going to use a roller sponge and I'm going to mix this color into the background. So I am mixing these two colors and we're going to use this color for the background of our canvas. We're going to practice roses in very different ways on different videos. This is going to be the first one and it's going to be a more structured rose. So now I'm using a roller to apply this beautiful color that we mixed into the canvas. I'm going to apply this until I have very good opaque coverage, and then we're going to let it dry, and then we're going to start with the rose. This really turned out to be a beautiful base coat. Hint hint, DecoArt. The color was created with sea glass plus a touch of traditional burnt umber. So if you have those two colors, you can create this beautiful color. Maybe someday DecoArt will create it for us. These are the colors that I used. It turned out to be a beautiful background, because backgrounds cannot be too bright. This color is too bright, so I dull it down a tiny bit with the traditional burnt umber. And this piece is painted with no pattern. We're just gonna make a round shape like this. You make a round shape like that in your pattern, in your piece, like I did in there. Then you're gonna divide it in 3/3. 1/3, 2/3. So you're gonna make let's go away. Okay, so you're gonna make a round shape like this, deciding the size of the rose that you want. Then you're gonna cut it in 1, 2, and 2/3. 1, 2, 3. Once you have the 3/3, this is gonna be the cup of your rose. You're gonna mark it like this. This is the cup. See, it ends in a cupping here, and this is the inside of the cup of the rose. Then you're gonna paint first this section, then you're gonna paint to this section, then this is gonna be the third, then you're gonna paint this area in here, and then you have two strokes for this section, but this is going to be the 5th section and it involves 2 strokes, and the final section is going to be a stroke that you're going to put in here, so this is going to be the 6th stroke. So this is what you're going to be doing with this structured rose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so this is exactly what I did on this paper for you. You're gonna have the inside of the bowl, you're gonna have the cup. See, you divide first 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, and then you're gonna start with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last one is gonna be in here. Now, you have to think, where is the stem of your rose? And the stem is right here. And you can put the stem, for example, like that. That can be the stem of your rose. So all the strokes are gonna go in the direction to where the stem is. Now you have to decide what size of brush you're gonna need to paint this type of rose. And the size of the brush will depend on the size of the inside in here of the cup. So you have to cover at least, when you spread it, at least 2/3. I think this size will be perfect for this size of rose, and this is a size 20. If you had a smaller brush, then you go to a smaller rose, you go to a smaller brush. And if you have a larger rose, then you have to go to a larger brush. So this is going to be perfect for me, so I'm going to use this brush. You have to prep your colors. This is a container that I have, that I bought. It's a Tupperware container, and I just put paper towels with water, and I'm gonna put my colors in here so they stay wet. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna use a wax palette to blend. So I have my colors ready in here, and we're using light buttermilk. This one is light buttermilk. Then I mixed honey brown with a tiny amount of dark chocolate. Honey brown plus dark chocolate, and it's kind of runny, so. And then I have asphaltum with a small amount of orange flame. And then the last color is traditional burnt umber. We're going to also have a medium, and we're going to use dry time extender. We're going to put dry time extender on our brush, and then we're going to go into that mixture that we did with the honey brown mixture. And we're going to make that mixture a tiny bit transparent, and we're going to use that for the background of this rose. And we're going to apply a small layer of this color in here. Don't worry if you lose those lines, we can put them back. Okay. So now that we have that, you probably need to put the lines back of your third. It was in here, and the other one was 1, 2 in here, in there. So we are going to take the Asphaltum mix, and we are going to float. I'm going to show you one float. This is how we're going to float. We're going to float this color. You may want to have some of the extender on your brush when you do this. And we are going to float on this upper section so that we have our bowl in there, the inner section of the bowl. And then we're going to float also on the lower section of the bowl, but we don't want this lower line to be as distinctive as the other on the top. So we're gonna go and float again on the lower section and kind of disappear that line. You can also, at this point, if you need to, and I think I'm gonna do it, you can take a mop, a small mop, and help you with that float. And kind of disappear that line. Let's dress our brush, and it has extender, and we're going to put this honeycomb color, honeycomb mix and we're dressing it with honeycomb mix. And then we're gonna add, on one side, we're gonna add the light buttermilk. If you lose your honeycomb, you can add it back. So one side honeycomb, the other side the light buttermilk. And then we're going to take a tiny bit of the traditional burnt umber to darken the light buttermilk. To darken the side that has the honeycomb. So we start with the buttermilk, honeycomb mix. Then we put on one side the light buttermilk, and on the other side we put a small amount of traditional burnt umber. And then you're gonna go inside your rose and stroke the back stroke, the first stroke. You have to remember, where is your stem? Your stem is right here. So you're gonna stroke like this. That is the first stroke. Then you have to reload. Honey brown, light buttermilk, and traditional burnt umber. And after you have done that stroke, you're gonna do a second stroke. You remember that your stem is in here. All the strokes have to be following that stem. But now you're gonna lower down and do this stroke inside that other one. Like that. Reload. Then the next one is going to be inside this one. Now you have that first area. Now you're going to start with the second area that is on this side. Remember that you have your stem in here, so you have to be pointing to the stem, and you're going to first do a float in here. The float is going to be on this section, and you can do it in one float or two floats. So you're going to leave an area that is not painted, and you're going to do one, and you can continue the second one like this, and you don't have to connect it at the top. So 1 and 2. Now on the other side you're supposed to do exactly the same, and you can do it now if you want to and imitate what you just did. It is easier since I am right-handed. It will be easier for me if I do it this way. Let's open that a tiny bit more to make it rounder. And you can play with this. Now I think my brush has too much dirtiness, so I'm going to clean it and reload. And I'm going to now put another stroke inside this one. On both sides. I reloaded, and you're gonna put a tiny one in here, and I have a dirty thing in there, so tiny one in there. Now remember that you have to do the same to the other side. Let's put a tiny one in here. Now we're going to reload our colors, and we're gonna now start with the cup. Okay, so we put one in here and one in here, and now we're gonna put a reload. Okay, so now you're gonna take this one in here and you're gonna connect it with this, and then you're gonna reload, and you're going to connect another one with the stroke that you have in here. I don't like this, so I'm going to fix it like this. Now we have to do the two in the bottom, and you're gonna position it in here. Remember that your stem is here. So you have the light on the top, and you're gonna position it. It's gonna only go in this side, and you're gonna position it in here. Like that. Now you're gonna do the same on the other side. Reloading. And I'm doing it very slow so that you can do yours at the same time with me. Okay, so the next one, after you have reloaded, you're gonna start in here. You see that line that you put in there? You're gonna start in there, and you're gonna overlap these on top of this other one. Like that. I reloaded, and you can put another one in here. Like that. If you need to. You have this one in here that goes like this, and then you can put another one in here like that to fill in if you need to. This is just another method. You can see all the different videos that I have from roses and do whichever method you prefer, but I want to give you different methods and explore different ideas. I'm going to make this one a tiny bit was too for my taste. Okay, so we're missing another stroke, and we're gonna do this again so that you can, and the next time it's gonna be faster. Maybe we can use a different color. Next stroke we have to reload. I'm going to maybe make this one a tiny bit longer. And now we're going to reload our paints, and we're going to put the stroke that we're missing. Looking at it, I think I want to add a tiny bit one in here. One in there. Okay. Remember, this one can be here like this. And this is now, if you see something that you don't like, you can reshape it however way you want. It's better not to start messing with it at this point. And let it be. We're gonna do it again. Let's do the last stroke. It's gonna be in here. And maybe sometimes you have to do that twice, that last stroke. And so you can do it in 2 stages, or you can do it in 1. Let's clean our brush. It was too dirty, and that's why I did that. Let's clean our brush and fix that, and then we can let it dry. Okay, let's fix that last stroke. And something that it was too well blended, my stroke. So I'm gonna blend it better. Kind of my paints are getting dry, and this has to be done with good paints. Let's do it this way. And then we can take our brush and blend in here. Or even the mop that I show you, you can even blend that in there, because we have put a dry time extender in here, and that helps with our blending process. Now this is only the first stage of this rose. Well, this is dry, and I'm gonna do this again in here and show it to you again. So I put dry time extender with the honey brown. Make sure. And I'm going to now float the dark brown mixture of Asphaltum. Gonna divide it in 1/3. This is gonna be the first third in here. And then I'm going to have the second third in here. And this time I'm going to blend that with another float underneath. This time I'm gonna do it faster, and if you need to, you can use a mop and blend this in here if you need to. Then we're going to reload our brush with the honey brown mixture, light buttermilk on one side, and the dark brown color on the other side, and you get this asphaltum and a tiny bit of traditional burnt umber. Then you're gonna start the top and you do 1, reload, reload, do another one, contain, oops, I need to have enough dark. I didn't have enough dark. Paints are getting dry. I have the air conditioning here. If paints, I'm going to use a tiny bit more of the extender. And you need to have the asphaltum on one side, tiny bit of the dark brown, and the light buttermilk on the other side. And then this is contained inside of this one, but you have to leave space for another one that is going to be below this one. So reload and make this one inside of this one. Now you're going to go to the second part, which is in here. Reload, and you can do this in 2 stages. 1 and 2, and then you have another one inside of this. See that I did not blend it too well. Reloading, and you need to put a third one in here. You have to do the same on the other side. So 1, 2, reloading. Another one inside. And another one inside. Then you're going to start connecting this in here. You do 1, reload, trying to go faster now so that we don't use that much space of the camera. Then the next one, reload, remember this second one comes from here. See, I have too much extender on my brush, so take a paper towel and blot it. Okay, so the second one is gonna go in there. Try not to be mashing the top. Now we need to do the 2 lower ones. And they are going to be in here. And You put one in there. Let's reload, and I have to clean the brush. Then the next one that you're gonna put in here, you can put it like that. Then you need another one in here. And that one, if it's easier for you, you can turn this upside down and put it. You can put it in 2 strokes. You can put 1 stroke going that way and the other stroke going this way. Okay, so we're gonna let this dry, these 2 roses dry. Oops. Too much paint in there. But we are working with acrylics and everything can be cleaned. And we just have to stroke it again. So since I cleaned the brush, I have to reload. I was trying to do this one faster to show you that it looks better when you do it faster. But I messed it up. So the faster that you do it, because then it's not drying in between. And then since the trickiest one is this one in there. Okay, so we're gonna let the 3 roses dry now. Okay, so our roses are now dry, so that we can work on fixing them. And let's start with the one that we did faster, because it always works better when you work faster with them. You want the rose to be kind of round. The only thing that is bugging me is this side in here. So I'm gonna take the same brush that we were using, and I'm gonna reload it. With the light buttermilk, the mixture of the, you start with the honeycomb mixture, and I'm just going to try to fix this section in here by adding a petal in there. Again, you have this other side. Let's add a tiny petal in here. And I think that's all I'm gonna do. On shape. Now I'm going to check the shape of the others. And this one is ready for the tinting and the highlights and the tinting and the shading. Let's check the others. About this one, it's kind of squared, and maybe what we need to do is add another petal. All the petals has to be coming like this, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start connecting the petals. So once you have finished painting your flowers, you have to see what you can do to improve them. And that's the way I do it, because I'm not an expert in painting roses. So I'm showing you what you can do if you're not an expert either. Okay, so I believe in this one, the problem was also the shape in here. Maybe it needs another layer in there. You see how that changes instantly when you put another layer in there? So I'm reshaping. And I like that now. I do not like this bottom section, so I can put another one in there, but I'm going to put a tiny bit more of the light. So we are just reshaping your rose there, and we can put a small one in here. Maybe not that small. Make it bigger. Okay, let's see this other one. We can also put a one that is going across. In here. Let's see, let's connect this in here. And let's put something in here. Okay, so I'm done putting additional strokes, and now I'm gonna dry it again, and now I'm gonna shade, tint, and highlight. Okay, so I am applying extender, drying time extender, so that it helps me blending. And I'm gonna go to the darkest color that we have here, the traditional burnt umber, and let's see, I can darken the bowl. I can find any triangle shape areas, for example in here, and shade in there, there. So find triangle shape areas and blend. I mean shade. So shading, shading, shading. If you clean your brush, you have to put back the extender in the brush. I am still with the traditional burnt umber, and I'm shading areas that needs further shading. Look for triangle shape areas, and your brush starts separating. That means that it is thirsty for water. So clean it and start again. And I have very good videos on floating if you need those triangle shape areas. You see how different this one is? It looks better because we did it without stopping, and it is always better if you do this without stopping. In the other ones I was trying to show you the different steps, so I was doing it slow and they look stiff, but this one looks better because I did it all in one row. I'm going to also shade in here and separate that in there. See how that helps a tiny bit. So it is better if you do it all fast, but I wanted you to show you slowly so you could follow me. And it is very hard when you're doing it that way. It's better if you do everything in one after the other, because then everything is not drying on you and it doesn't look stiff. Anyway, let's see what we can do to improve these roses. Shading. After we finish with the shading, we're gonna dry it, blow dry it, and then we're gonna do some tinting and highlighting. No rose is ever the same, and is the same in nature. All roses are different. I think I still do not like the way this is. Let's see if I can add another petal in there. Let's see. So it was coming in here like this. And let's see, in there like that. And here, let's see if we can add that. And you can be here forever playing with the roses. Oop, that's too much. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it like this, and I'm gonna dry it so that we can glaze it. Take Burgundy wine and a tiny bit of black plum so that I can make a darker version of this pink color, and this is gonna be my tint. Okay, and I'm gonna put extender. Extender. My 3 roses. And I want to tint only some of the petals, but I want some petals to be lighter and doesn't have that much of the tint. Let's see. And this is all plain. You now are playing with your rose. And this is too much color, so I'm wiping my brush and taking out some of that color of the brush. And you cannot have this much color. The extender is gonna help you remove some of the color. Let's tint also this one. I'm gonna tint this side with this color, but I also want to tint it with a yellowish color. Sunny Day, one of the new colors. Let's take some Sunny Day and do the same. I am just using extender, and I want to tint some areas that I'm gonna put the yellow. So put the yellow on this area. Let's put it in the light areas. Again, I'm going to highlight after I dry these tints. And if you lose some of your darks when you're putting these tints, we can always find those darks again. Okay. Let me put a tiny bit more of the pink on this one. And on this one. Okay, so now I'm going to dry these. Before I start highlighting, I want to put again the extender, and I'm going to add some of the black plum. Okay, for example, let's add some of the black plum in here. And some areas that we can put the black plum. It is a reddish, it's a wine black color. So it's gonna add that component of wine that is gonna be complementary of the red color that we just put. Some areas it can have a tiny bit more of the pink that we mixed. So you can make the pink a tiny bit stronger in some areas. Not everywhere, but some places. If you feel that your extender is starting to dry, it's the moment to stop. And it's because you also will be playing forever with this color if you don't. So I'm gonna dry these, and then we can put the highlights. This is a float of light buttermilk, and we're gonna start highlighting some areas. Sometimes, see, light buttermilk seems too strong, so I can take a tiny bit of that yellow Sunny Day and use that. And also, if you put some extender, it doesn't look as strong. I'm gonna blend this in here. Light buttermilk with a tiny bit of that Sunny Day. Sometimes you can even take some of your honeycomb mixture with the light buttermilk, and that is going to be a softer highlight. See, that was too light in there. So I'm going to take my honeycomb mixture and soften that in there. So this is playtime, is what it is with your roses. Really have to have areas that are lighter than others. So again, the light brown with the tiny bit of the honey brown mix. Let's extend this a tiny bit in here. Let's see, let's play a tiny bit with the others. More of the light buttermilk. One more thing that I forgot to mention is the centers. We're gonna take the darkest color, and it was the traditional burnt umber, and we're gonna make dots and squigglies inside of here. And then we're gonna take that other color that we have, the sunny day, and also make some yellow dots. On the light section. I check again the flowers, and they need a tiny bit more, so I put more highlights. So I put straight buttermilk in some of the area, like here and here, straight buttermilk, because you need to bring them. You don't want them too dull. These are roses. They're flowers. They cannot be too dull. So make your flowers stand out more by adding an extra of the light buttermilk. And they will look prettier. Next time, we're gonna do a different color of roses next time that we do roses. So every time that we do roses, we'll try to use a different combination so that you have different combinations of flowers. On these areas that you have some of the paint showing, that's where you're gonna put some leaves. I already added some on my design of the leaves that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to show you some buds too for the next time. So I am base coating the leaves with light avocado. So I am putting just a coat of light avocado on the leaves. And I'm trying to find areas that where the roses left some areas like places where that stained your background, where you stain your background. And when you add this color, your roses are gonna start to come alive. So we are just base coating the leaves with light avocado. Remember, there is no pattern for these. I sketched this in here. And you're gonna put the leaves anyway, places where you need to cover for your background. So I'm checking areas, for example, in here that are dirty, where I need to put, and at that time, you can also reshape any petal that you need to reshape. And after you have put the leaves, you may need to check your roses again for values. Example, I don't like that section in there, so you know, this is always checking your, until you have not finished all the elements, you're not sure if they are finished. So I'm gonna find places where I need the leaves, and I'm gonna base coat them, and we'll be right back. For the stems, you're gonna take that, make sure that you dip with the Asphaltum, and you're gonna use that. We're gonna connect the stems of the roses. And I'm going to put another one in here. What I was gonna put I'm gonna put a bud in there, and another bud in here. There. And we're just missing one more. Okay, so this is light avocado in here, like that. And I think I'm gonna put the colors of the flower. Put tiny bit of light buttermilk plus the mixture of the honey brown plus light buttermilk, and somehow it has some of the pink. I don't know why, but it went some of the pink. So let's take a tiny bit of Asphaltum mixture. We're going to put extender, and I only put a very sheer coat of that light avocado. We're not going to make the leaves the most important part. And I'm shading with the same brush and Plantation Pine. And I'm going to shade here and there. I'm not gonna make the leaves too important, so I don't want to put too much detail on the leaves. It's supposed to be a fast piece. And I want to antique this piece. I'm gonna give it a patina look after I'm finished with these, and I'm gonna use some of the DecoArt rose gold metallic luster. See, I didn't have anything planned when I started this. It just come into my mind what to do. Didn't have any pattern, any instructions. I'm just inventing in here as we paint. So this is gonna be the shading, and I'm gonna dry it and do a fast highlighting on this and tints, and then we're going to wanted to do very easy leaves for you. we're gonna dry these. And it's gonna starting to dry. The extender is starting to dry, so you have to stop playing when it starts to dry. Okay, so let's dry it. Traditional burnt umber and shade on one side of these. Again, these are very easy stems. They're not attention. We want to call attention to the flowers, nothing else. Okay, now we're gonna highlight the leaves. So we're gonna reapply the extender on the leaves. And let's put a tiny bit of that light avocado plus light buttermilk. But I also want to put a tiny bit of the sunny day. And see, find some places where you want to put this highlight. Not everywhere. Some of them. If you highlight everything, then you're gonna, it's not gonna look like a highlight. It's gonna look more like a base coat. Very loose. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it like that, and I'm gonna dry it, and I'm gonna show you what I was gonna do with extender and some of the other colors. Okay, so I am applying a generous amount of direct time extender to the piece, because now I'm going to use metallic luster. I'm sorry, not metallic luster. This one is Dazzling Metallics Dark Patina. And we're going to use metallic luster, rose gold. So let's start with the rose gold. And I am applying this with the extender. And I'm going to use a different brush because I don't want to damage this one. So I'm using a stiffer brush to bring this metallic luster, and I'm playing with these here and there. I'm gonna bring this rose color here and there to this surface. It's gonna be blending with the extender that I just put Let me put it back so that you can see what I'm doing. And now I'm gonna bring the other color, which is the dark patina. The dark patina is a darker color, and I'm gonna bring these to the edges and probably use starting with this this brush, but if you need a softer brush, you can use a softer brush. I am just darkening the edges with this patina color. It is one of the metallic colors, so it's adding some metallic to it. Because this piece for me is like an antique, that's why I use these colors, because what they used is antique, like an antique rose color. So I'm gonna do this all the way around, and this is gonna finish my piece. And I think it has space in there to put something else. You can put a butterfly, you can put some letters. Since Mother's Day is coming soon, and that's why I decided to do projects that are towards Mother's Day. You can put a message to your mom. Okay, I think I have enough. I'm gonna use what I have left to also put it on the edges of the canvas. Now we have the leaf, we have the background, but always that happens that you need to now re-highlight, check which one is the most important flower in here and get more attention, and then the other ones a tiny bit less attention. So let's make this one the start of the show, and we're gonna put a tiny bit of more color to this one, and we're gonna leave that one as is. Let's see, we're gonna bring some more highlight to this one. Let's try not to put it only a small amount, and not to put extremely too much, because if not, you're gonna cover everything. So just a tiny bit more light to that one. And we can do the same for this one, only a small amount of light buttermilk. Let's see. Light is coming from this side, so this is where we're gonna put the highlight. Then on this one, we just can put mix it with the honey brown mixture, so that is not that, and we didn't put extender at that one, so you need to put extender first. Now we'll put extender. Tiny highlights. And the piece is starting to come to life. Gonna dry and see if it needs anything else. It done. Okay, before I leave, another thing that you can do is you can put veins to your leaves. And this is Plantation pine. If you want to. I have another video, one video on how to work a liner if you need help with that. This is not necessary. The more details you put to the leaf, you're calling attention to them and they're not that finished. So it's not necessary to do this part. Also, you can add the colors of the rose to the leaves. Tints. Okay, let's add some color of the rose to the leaves. So we need to put some of the pinky color with the light buttermilk and the pink that we mixed, and the golden honey brown color, and we can add that here and there. You see that was too strong. Maybe it needs to have more of the honey brown and more of the pink. And let's put it here and there, and then we're gonna blend it with the light avocado. See, this is putting too much attention to the leaves. You don't have to do this part. So now I'm going to take the light avocado and blend. What you can do, instead of putting it the way I did, you can put some extender, and that way you don't make a mess. It is better if you have the extender. So you can add some tints of the pinks to the leaves. You can even add some of the golden brown tints. Golden brown tints. Let's bring some of the golden brown. This is golden brown. Okay, and this is overplaying, so you need to stop some way. Let's see, I was going to one more time highlight the front one, and we're gonna be calling it that. maybe a tiny bit on that one. Okay, so we're gonna call it done. Don't forget to sign your name, and join me next time on another fun project. Don't forget to subscribe to my page so you can receive updates of when I have more videos.